Guys, it's Big Ben back again for another episode of the Spotlight for TFF exclusively. I've been a bit busy with a game world of my own, and Ali's going to be laughing in his chair right now, thinking, "What the fuck are you talking about, Ben?" Because he has done most of the work. Anyway, I digress. I've been slightly busier than usual, but we are bringing you another episode of the Spotlight. Today featuring Leicester City and Furt. Leicester were one of the first teams to get back to me about having their team in the spotlight. So Furt, I'm going to bring it to you, and we're going to crack on with it, guys. This is Leicester City's squad. Here we go. So first of all, full team. There's the full team. We're going to start with the best. So straight away, what stands out is 26 players, decent amount of players, so they're nowhere near the squad cap, unless you're taking loans, which they have a few loans. Average rating 89, average age 24. That's not bad. Total value is pretty impressive. 372 million. I did say last week, obviously, not a lot of people rate this, but it is a nice indication of how far a team's come under the manager. Now, last week we did Newcastle. Furt's quite similar to Mark in terms of he's been at Leicester since day one. So this and all of this is going to be attributed purely to Furt. This is no one else's work. Okay, Matty, sweet. Sound. So this is it. This is Leicester's team. Okay, we're going to start here. Alisson Becker. Here we go. Okay, so Leicester City's keeper, 93 rated, one of the top keepers in the game. We all know that. His value, nice value, good age. Plays for Liverpool, obviously. Liverpool doing bits at the moment, so fair enough. Now listen, before I even start scrolling down, my own personal memory of Furt when I was at Arsenal was that he was a hard person to negotiate with. That's not a criticism, Furt, if you're watching. You were just a hard person to negotiate with, and that's not a bad thing necessarily. It just means you don't get sharped. But I think before we get into this properly, we're going to see a pattern here, and this is what the pattern's going to be. If I go into stats, I'm already on stats. Okay, Becker, Alisson Becker, Leicester City since day one, season 1, season 2, season 3, 4, 5. Okay, he's their number one keeper. He's one of the best keepers in the game. Absolutely not surprised that he starts every single game. Okay, now his history. This is where you're going to see the pattern now. Picked up from Roma, 12 million, bloody hell. See, he's been picked up from Roma for 12 million, and now his value is 36. So that was a nice pickup from Furt there. Okay, picked him up from external, and he's been at Leicester ever since. Okay, Isco, my main man, Isco. I could not tell you the amount of times I tried to sign this motherfucker in TFF. We'll get into it though. 93 rated, 26 years of age, nice value. Well, he plays for Real Madrid. He's not getting in the Real Madrid team at the moment. He's on the bench a lot, and there's a bit of humming and hawing about where he might go in the summer. Nonetheless, though, a top player, still a decent age, so okay, he's still a nice person to have in your team, obviously. Now, another pattern. Leicester, season 1, season 2, 3, 4, and 5. He's played near enough every single game for Leicester in the seasons he's been there. The only thing I'd say about Isco is his goals to games ratio isn't great. So unless Furt's playing him in central midfield rather than attacking midfield, I can't see why his goals to games ratio, even his assists, they're not great. If you look at the amount of games he plays, his history, picked up from external, obviously, Real Madrid, season 1. Mahrez, I don't know who that person is, obviously, but that's where he's been picked up from, and he's stayed at Leicester ever since. Diego Costa, again, he lost his 94 rating. 93 is still a solid rating. He's clocking on a bit now in terms of age. He's still got a decent value though, and to be fair, if Leicester were to put him up for sale, still probably get a bit of interest. Now, stats. Leicester, Leicester, and Leicester. If you can't see the pattern by now, I'll go into a few more players, but there's a bit of a pattern. Picked up in season 3, obviously from external because he's not played anywhere else. I think Chelsea might have had him actually to start off with, and I think Chelsea might have used him in a deal. But I mean, 16 goals isn't bad for last season. 12 goals, so yeah, okay. Leicester's obviously Leicester's danger man. History, obviously losing that one there. Okay, yeah. So Chelsea had him, sold him to Atletico for Griezmann, and obviously Leicester have picked him up from external. Now that is becoming a pattern. That's Diego Costa there. Jorginho. Another pattern. Leicester, 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 and Leicester. Okay? Decent rated, decent age, okay. Decent value, plays for Chelsea in real life, decent team, fair enough. History. There you go. Leicester picked him up from external, from Napoli for 20 million. Now listen, there's a pattern now already. First top 4 players have all been picked up from external. Yeah. They've all played for Leicester since day one. Day one. They've not played for any other club. Here's another player, for example. 91 rated, decent age, one of the best upcoming defenders going. Plays for Man City, obviously, top player, stats. Okay? Chelsea. Right. I bet you any money when we go into history, he was not bought directly from Chelsea. Leicester, 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 and Leicester. Plays near enough every single game. Fair enough. History. There we go. Chelsea picked him up from external, sold him back to external, and then Leicester picked him up from external, 16 million. Okay, so now that's Leicester's top 5 players. Top 5 players, all picked up from external, all picked up and never swapped. They've just stayed at Leicester. Now, if you're watching, this isn't a criticism. This is not a criticism. You run your team however you want to run your team. Fair enough. Personally, to me, that looks pretty dangerous now, the way he does his transfers, because what we're seeing is Leicester's top players, they're not being poached, which is fair enough. You don't want to get sharked. I can understand that. But surely there must be some teams, or there must have been an offer or two for one of these players, and you kind of go, that's a decent offer, that is. I'll accept it. But no. I mean, I don't know if that's the case. All I know is, looking at the stats, they've been at Leicester since day one. They've not played for any other team, and if they have played for another team, they've still been picked up from external. Not to say that the whole team's been picked up from external. That's not sustainable. However, Leicester's top players, to me, look like they're either not for sale, there's no negotiation, or they just can't be prized away. And the reason I say it's dangerous because as the seasons get on in the game world, when you start talking season 10 plus, 11 plus, if you're missing out on external deals and you're keeping hold of these guys, they're just going to get older. We all know they're going to get older. They're going to get less valuable, and they're going to be less in demand. And that's a problem because your team then, that's when a team in Division 1 starts slipping then, starts progressing backwards. But we'll see. Leicester's an interesting team like that. We will see where they end up. I mean, if I take another player, for example, I'll take this guy here. Stats. Okay, so Watford, Brentford, Leicester, Leicester, Leicester. So he's played for a couple more teams here now. Again, we'll see where Leicester picked him up from. There we go. Look, picked up from external. Again, picking up from external is not a problem. But as we know, as the game world gets on, external gets drier and drier and drier, and that's it. If your main strategy is to pick up talent from external, you're a little bit fucked as the game world goes on. So that's another player picked up from external from Leicester. Obviously, I can't go through the whole squad because time limits do restrict me. We'll take this chap for example. This will be the last one now. Everton, Tottenham, Leicester. Okay. History. Let's see. Picked up from external again, 15 million. season 3, and he's been at Leicester since been at Leicester since season, well, I say season 5. Season 3, from Tottenham, from Dortmund to Leicester. I don't know, but either way, it's come from external. I'll move on. But I think my point's pretty valid, to be fair. Leicester are a solid team. The only problem and the only worry I have about Leicester is if they don't start getting smart 2-for-1 deals on some of their top players, then they're going to go backwards a little bit, because external's not going to be so great anymore. I mean, you're not picking up a 93 keeper from external anymore. No one can do that anymore. But you know, if it looks like you struggle internally, and I'm not saying for struggles internally, there might be 10 players I haven't looked at he's picked up internally. But if you don't do a lot of deals internally, as the seasons get on, when your players get older and decrease in value and decrease in rating, which is all natural, you're going to struggle because demand drops. So that's the squad anyway. They do have a few players out on loan. Let me go back to the squads. They do have a few players out on loan. So fair enough. First, obviously doing his bit for the loans in terms of the game world. If we jump onto history real quick. Club history, okay. Domestic league, that's impossible. They ain't gonna win that. So fair enough. The Shield they won last season, which is that's good. It's still silverware. I still rate it as silverware. Obviously, it becomes less important the more the seasons go on, because cash kind of just dies a death. Finished runners up to Chelsea in the Super Cup. Now, again, like Newcastle last week, the only thing about Leicester I'd suggest is that they start going for a cup or a shield. We talked about it last week. QPR, Leeds, Hull, Huddersfield, they've all got a domestic cup or domestic shield to their name now. And like Newcastle, Leicester can probably afford to play a few games in Division 1 with their second string team out. Leicester are in danger of getting relegated this season, or the next season, or probably the season after that. So they can definitely sacrifice league form for a good run in the cups. So first, if you are listening to this, pal, have a go at the cups, man. It'd be a nice achievement for Leicester to win one of those cups. It's definitely doable. Charity Shield again, no. Domestic playoffs again, no, because I don't see Leicester getting relegated. Managers, yeah, Leicester. Fert's been there since day one, obviously. 213 games. Now, Fert's definitely been touted for bigger jobs, and I'm pretty sure he's been in the running for bigger jobs. Man City might spring to mind before Mark Stewart took over, if my memory serves correctly. So Fert has been in the running for big jobs. He stayed at Leicester, fair enough. Leicester's a decent team. He has built them from the ground up. So I can see why he stayed at Leicester, but you know, Fert has been put out there for bigger jobs. And I'm pretty sure if Fert were to leave Leicester, there'd be a few teams wanting that team. There'd be a few managers wanting that team. Because Leicester's like a blank canvas. They've got the players to do deals with. And you could generally make Leicester your own team if someone was to take over. Best managers, is he in best managers? Yep, there you go. Best managers of all time is third on the list. So that says a lot about Fert. Best current managers, again, third on the list. So well done, Fert. You're the third best manager in TFF. Congratulations, well done. Tables. A quick look at the history then of Leicester in TFF. Season 1, Division 1, 8th place, solid European competition. Good start to life in Division 1 for Leicester. And potentially they could be one of the teams at the bottom. Season 2 in Division 1, 10th place. Again, top 10, just about 1 point. Congratulations, fair play. Season 3, sorry. Just outside the top 10 on goal difference. And then Season 4 then, up to date. Season 4, the best finish yet, 6th place, 60 points. If you look at their last 6 games, if you throw a couple of wins in there rather than draws, then you know they're knocking on the door for 4th place. And that's pretty good for Leicester, to be fair. They have progressed. But like I said, Leicester then, as a review, on the whole, a good team, a good manager, been there since day one. The transfer policy, I think, needs to be looked at if they're going to progress and be sustained in Division 1. But apart from that, fantastic, for well done, good job. Big Ben back again, out.